So I'm going to play you a little piece by the man claiming to be Adam Amendola, who's now with my sister. He claims that he always was with my sister even before me, which is disgusting. And then he went back to her. That's disgusting. And of course he says he was with her before me, which he never let me know. That really means they did some kind of operation on me. Political thing that was done to me, but whatever. Okay, so, and then I'm going to play you the part with the, where that he says he's colleagues of Hillary and Barack Obama. I am exhausted right now. I'm in the middle of moving some things, and it's early in the morning, and I'm very tired, so babies kept me up all night. Here it is right here. He claims to have known my sister, and that he is colleagues with Barack Obama and Hillary. And so I wondered always how so many high political people were doing crimes to me, and how so many people follow me to snatch these babies out of my womb. And it had to have been somebody very high up in government to be paying people to do the crimes to me that so many hospital people did. We're talking 7 hospitals in one state and 3 in another. Staff. It's insane. But I have the hard evidence of the kidnap plans in writing. And I also have the plans from the kidnappers in writing of everything they did and the crimes they did in falsified records, which you can see. One of it said the final result of a P-test was edited. I have that. So here it goes.
Okay, so the point being is, right after our pregnancy, you met her after our pregnancy. You couldn't have met her before. You didn't know her before.
I did.
You knew my sister before the pregnancy.
Yes.
How so?
We went to school together.
You went to school with my sister? You were not here. You did not grow up here.
I did.
No, you didn't. You grew up in Tennessee. You told me and I checked your background.
I know, but that's what I wanted you to think.
No, it says it when I checked your background. I did your whole background.
That's what I wanted you to see.
No, it's on record. Everything.
Hillary did that for me.
No, Desiree did not do that for you.
I know Hillary did.
Hillary did it. Who is this really that's calling me, and why do you call it a private number? Why?
If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I should probably get going.
This is not even your voice.
I know, I'm using a machine.
Who's in the background?
That's Barack.
Said Barack.
Okay, you're saying Barack, you're saying Hillary, you're making fun of. Why are you saying all that? This is not true.
These are my colleagues.
These are my colleagues. These are serious.
Barack and Hillary are your colleagues?
Yeah.
Put Mr. Barack on the phone.
Okay, well, if you just want to take it to this level, I'm just going to have to let you go.
Your voice is not. Here's the thing. So if I subpoena you quickly, and you come stand before me, and this is not the voice that I know that you really have, you understand what I'm saying? Like, what I'm trying to tell you is whoever you.
Okay, so when I listen further, because I haven't heard him speak in front of me in years, and when he uses these voice changers, this is the time, similar to a while back, that he sounded the most like he sounded. Especially when I said, "Well, I'm going to subpoena you." When I said, "I'm going to subpoena you," he says, "Yes." It sounded just like him. There was no difference in his voice, from what I remember. Some of the time, he sounds very childish, and his voice sounds kind of thin. But he said he was using something on his voice. Why would he use something on his voice when he's admitting who he is? It's ridiculous. Because then he can always say he lied. I don't know. The whole thing has been a lie. Everything he has, every bit of whatever he was to me was a lie. I mean, I wasn't lying, but he was. And it's very sad because he thinks he's doing nothing wrong to these babies. I've got 5 babies in here that my sister stole their father I don't believe he knew her, but you never know. He says Hillary and Barack changed the information so that they knew I would do his background. At one point, I did find something in there regarding Hollywood. This was a while back, and I don't see it anymore in there. So maybe he did grow up in Hollywood. I don't know. Something's very strange. But I will get to the bottom of it through subpoenas. They can't not think they're not going to prison. He and my sister can't. Everybody involved in the kidnappings of me and these babies, you know, mommy's kidnapped and babies are in the womb, so are babies. And there's decisional law on that. The babies are part of the mother until taken out. They're my body parts. And so technically they were going to remove my body parts. And that's a decision that came out from a case in 2014 out of Orlando, Florida, where a doctor kidnapped a pregnant woman and took the baby out of her by C-section, claimed the baby was dead. I'm sure the baby was probably still alive. They probably convinced the mother it was dead, like they always seem to do when they steal babies. But that mother, on appeal, after charging the doctor with kidnapping, she won that case in 2017. So that is my first case in case law that I'm going to use in the state of Florida. And it's good for everywhere because it's Supreme Court law now, stare decisis. It's a case precedent, actually. First time case to first impression. And because nobody's really ever argued that before. Now, there were multiple cases I found, even in Brazil, with the husbands, even with the wives, where a doctor took care of the whole pregnancy. There were ultrasounds, and in the end, he snatched the baby out of her and tried to say, oh, we have to see if the woman's crazy first. They try to make all these excuses. There was a whole global, since 2016, a whole global thing going on of snatching babies out of women's wombs. And that's all over the internet. And if you piece it together, I was right in the heyday of that. So I don't doubt with what's been going on in the news about Hillary eating babies, and even in my excerpt on videos in 2016, at the end when 2016 when these babies were supposed to be born, because they're 3 years overdue 9 months, for almost 3 years overdue 9 months. August they'll be 3 years overdue 9 months. We are hanging on to life. I'm tired, I'm exhausted from having to work and carry these babies with not one penny of help from the father, while my sister's taking everything and enjoying life wonderfully. But soon they'll both be in prison, so I won't have to worry anymore. It's just going to take a little work to get them all there, and the kidnappers as well. And unfortunately, the FBI has concealed everything. CNN, I have not only tweets, but I have emails from one of the reporters there who she did nothing. A lot of the reporters down here in Florida did nothing. They know about the case. The Justice Department covered it all up under Loretta Lynch's tenure, and I have a letter saying that they weren't going to investigate with no signature coming from the Inspector General's office. What a coward. No signature? Really? You don't want me to know who you are? That you didn't want to investigate and leave these babies in me because there were more attempts on me, and so you wanted to let more attempts happen? All of you who concealed everything, and there were way, way more attempts. There were times when these babies were trying to come out, and I was having kind of contractions, but I don't really get contractions because of my status of my bones. I'm too small. By my son's doctor, birth doctor, telling me, and my cervix doesn't open. I don't have any, I forget the name of the chemical in the brain that's supposed to produce contractions, but I don't have that. So, you should have saw the vans riding around me in circles, waiting for me, thinking I was going to give birth. They were ready to snatch these babies. That's how badly, and this was even up until last year, 2018. It was disgusting what they've been doing to me. It's so bad what has been happening to me and these babies. they're not getting these babies. Just like they planned a coup on the president, and I'm telling you, there's something that they don't want the president to see. They don't want him, at the beginning, they don't want him to see what's been going on. In the beginning of, after the kidnapping, before President Trump got elected, I told everybody, if you look way back in my Facebook posts, President Trump's going to get in, he's going to fire everybody. And then he did. And then when he got in, the baby's dad contacted me once, 2017, September, and he started saying there was no babies in me, really perpetrating stuff just like the kidnappers were doing. And then I said, how could you say that when you're sitting here? You saw all the tests with me. Okay, you can't even say that. He says, okay, well, maybe there's one. He was denying everything. Then he wanted to deny he was the father. I said, you know, President Trump's going to kick your ass. He's going to really kick your ass legally. You know, this man, Adam, started laughing at me saying, you're funny. I says, you think I'm joking? Well, now look, they're all scared. I thoroughly believe, whatever reason this was all done to me, whatever reason all the kidnappings, repeat kidnappings in violation of Title 18, Section 1531 and 1535 were done to me since 2001 and forward. 2001, I was kidnapped before the trade centers went down. I witnessed some things before the trade centers went down, a day or so before, relevant to the trade centers going down. I witnessed the most credible piece of evidence of certain things that I couldn't remember through the years. I repressed it. I didn't think it was important, but most of the time when victims know something that are eyewitnesses, they do gloss over, they forget what the most important piece of evidence is as to why they're being harmed. In 2013, a man named Herb Brockman tried to ask me, he was Department of Defense Security, you must have saw something way before this all started. I says, I didn't know what I saw. Well, I did, but I forgot. That's what happens with victims of trauma like that. So, but it wasn't the reason why the first kidnapping was done. The first kidnapping was strictly to put me in sexual trafficking by police, a couple of police officers, a few of them. And the one before that in 1997 was to cover up a false arrest that was done to me.